Hey everybody, Boris from BK Forex. Welcome to the crosses section for August 5, August 9, 2019. Some very interesting cross setups this week, and really the focus certainly is going to be on the calm dollar land, both intra-calm dollars and comms against the majors, because that's really where I think the setups will be this week as the themes develop into the middle of the week. On the cross ideas that I have in front of you, I have one idea that is just really purely technical at this point, which is the short euro-pound trade. Now, this is a trade we've been in and out of forever, and it's certainly been almost a one-way locomotive to the upside, but we've caught a few retraces. Here, however, you see a more serious technical slowdown, technical reversal in the euro-pound dollar. This is really going to become a bet on the fact that Boris Johnson fails. That's really what it's coming down to, and maybe with a additional help of the fact that Europe really kind of teeters into a recession. So we'll have to see if the technicals are confirmed by the funder, but certainly right now I like the chart, and we'll take a look at that in just 1 second. EURCAD also has kind of interesting, this is really a CAD strength trade. The fact that European data is relatively weak, and this is really sort of a bet on the fact that maybe European data is going to become even weaker and drive more fundamental flows out of Europe. Canada should be the biggest beneficiary of that, given the fact that they have the strongest monetary policy at this point. And then the other intra-calm dollar trade here is the EURGBP trade, and here you're really trading the relative weakness of the Australian dollar. Basically, this is really the China trade war trade, because if that rhetoric only accelerates this week, it really puts an enormous amount of pressure on Aussie to break fresh yearly lows. And I think at the same time, Canadian dollar kind of holds bid because it's very much protected in many ways from all of the turmoil that goes on in the global trade, in the China-U.S. trade structure. So to me, that's a very, very interesting trade. Let's take a look at the charts here and just let me show you exactly what I mean. First, let's start with the euro-pound. So here's the interesting reason why I like the euro-pound. This is a big reversal off the 92s. We make a sort of a secondary half-baked effort to get up there and then get rejected on Friday. So now this looks like a very clear, not to mention the fact that 92 has been a very long-term resistance point in euro-pound all the way back to last year. So you get a chance here, I think, for further move, and there's certainly lots of space between the 91.25s and 90 SMAs for us to correct to trend. We're not even looking for the trend to break. We're just going to be looking for it to correct the trend. So I think the pause here is one of the stronger technical signals. And even though I don't have a lot of fundamental data to back me up, I think it's worth a punt here, given the structure and how it sets up. Now, Aussie CAD, the intra calm dollar trade. This looks super negative, and you're certainly selling the lows here. On the other hand, all the key resistance or support has been broken, so there's nothing here to hold the lows from hitting anything else. We are closing the lows, and when we get this kind of super strong trends, that is not a signal to be ignored. That is suggesting to you that there's a massive market move here that need to be respected. And that opens up the possibility for us to maybe even get down to 89 and perhaps even 88.50. We can go back. Let me just go back on the weeklies here. And let's just see how far, where the weeklies show us support. And they basically take us where? No, we broke all the support on the weeklies here. We look at this, 4 or 5 years of weeklies got taken out. We really don't get any support until this chunky area here of around essentially 87, 88 right there. So there is scope here for more downside price action, and this kind of very powerful, this is a weekly chart. You can see on the weekly charts here, when you get these power moves, this is not a pair that expresses itself frequently. So when it does express itself in a strong, big, singular way, there tends to be continuity. Here's lots of continuity here to the downside, same way, lots of continuity to the upside when it expresses itself strongly this way. And you may get, sort of like consolidation. There's no doubt about it. Here's, 2 continuities and some continuity here before we get consolidation. but ultimately the trend was really very down. That to me is the big argument here. The ultimate trend here is down. Certainly we might be good for another 60, 70 points to the downside before we hit round number support, and it's certainly worth, from just a pure momentum point of view, to hit this to the downside as we go forward. Now the last thing I wanted to show you, EURCAD, we can go back to the dailies because there's not much here on the weeklies here, and this is really a relative strength trade here. Notice the reversal. It's a sort of a kind of like a dollar CAD reversal here. The reversal off the highs, even though the candle is green, suggests to me that we kind of hit the top of the range. This is really top of the range, bottom of the range trade. There's very little movement here. It's been a tight 47, 45 trade. So I think there's scope here for us to maybe go down to 46, 40, 45 to the downside. Especially two things can drive us there: positive Canadian data at the end of the week, or negative European data front of the week. So that gives us scope here to trade this one way or the other. Wish you guys the best luck, the best of trading. Boris, over and out.